Hello and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of one-season wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew.
My name is Emily.
And we are back discussing 2001's very patriotic sitcom, Raising Dad, starring Bob Saget, Kat Dennings, who has not won an Academy Award or been nominated, Academy Award winner Brie Larson, Jerry Adler, Andy Kindler, Ben Indra, of course, and then Jared and
Olivia
show up, but guess who doesn't?
No Evan, no Megan Good.
And Megan Good are both buried in the yard alongside Paget Brewster, the other neighbor with the dog. Did the lady have a dog or no?
I don't think so.
Yelled at them out the window.
She just smoked heavily.
Okay, so we are talking about episodes, what is this?
19 and 20? The House of Stewart?
20. This is our penultimate episode, everyone.
Penultimate episode.
The House of Stewart. So let's take a look here, shall we? This episode has another cold open, I believe. Does it tie in? One of them ties in and one of them doesn't. Is that correct?
I don't remember.
You just watched them.
I know. I'm the worst.
It's like you don't even love this show.
I do like this show.
It's so sad. Okay. So, this is the one that has the Brandy cameo. Is this the poker episode? No, that's
the next one that we'll be talking about.
So, what even happens this episode?
We see Matt teaching again. Yes. That's what it is.
Oh, it's the Romeo and Juliet episode. So, yes, we were discussing how, maybe the show had learned its lesson about Matt being a shitty teacher. It has not. Yes, Evan is not there for him to
berate.
Yes,
but he can berate Ben Indris for
he
an
berates
episode.
Josh for his monologue.
He's doing a one-man show of Hamlet. That's what
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. I'm sorry,
but the episode opens with a barking dog next door. People aren't able to get sleep. They talk about it. But at the end of the cold open, Jerry Adler comes downstairs and Bob Saget's like, hey, did the dog wake you up? And Jerry Adler's is like, no, the idiot yelling outside did. And that was Bob Saget, because of course it was. And then, so we go to school where Josh is performing from Romeo and Juliet. We then it's Jared's turn to go up, but he's saved by the bell.
There's some talk about, so while Josh is doing his one-man Romeo and Juliet, he's got all the lights are off except for this giant spotlight right in his face. It's very artistic. And we've learned before that Josh is actually a decent actor. In the episode where they did the Chekhov play, the fake Chekhov play. So I was a little bit disappointed that then Bob Saget spent a few lines berating Josh. I had English teachers in high school that I loved. And Bob Saget is supposed to be this beloved teacher, but he's just kind of a jerk. Not even in I'm tough but fair kind of way. He's just mean. Did not like. Anyway. There's a lot of jokes about the scary story lesson that's going to be the next day.
Oh my God,
that was belabored. That was belabored. Yeah.
Bob Saget must have been like, I can do physical comedy, and they're like, Jesus Christ, you can't. And he's like, fuck you, we're gonna do it for the end of this scene, and I'm gonna make all these kids laugh at it.
It was really bad.
I need more therapy. I need more therapy from watching Bob Saget behave this way.
Yeah, it was rough.
So they go out into the hallway after class where they run into Sarah, I believe.
Yeah, because
And
all
then,
of her friends are in her dad's class, but
right.
she is not.
Now, we will get some more of the tee hee hee Josh likes me. We will also get the she and Olivia discussing
Jared.
Jared in a sexual manner. But I don't know if you noticed, I thought he and Olivia were dating in the new continuity because he has his fucking head buried in her neck as they're leaving the hallway. Like I thought
Oh,
they were fucking kissing.
oh,
They
I didn't
apparently are
notice.
not. Anyway,
So it's raining outside. We have established in the previous scene where he's making his bad jokes. And Sarah is like, oh shit, I forgot my raincoat. And Jared gives her his coat. And she takes that as a sign that he likes her, kind of, except that she's just not 100% sure because they've only ever been friends. And they go home to the basement and they form this, or no, is it in the hallway they form this plan with Josh to like go to some concert again at the Pulp and Fiction, and then Josh and Olivia just won't show up?
that's the next day
Is that the
because we
next
have to
day?
find the sonnet and we have to set
Oh,
off
right.
Saget.
So they go home. They go to Sarah's bedroom in the basement, and okay, she takes the jacket off, and they're like talking about how romantic it is and how it smells like him. I was a teenage girl once. Teenage boys do not smell good. If it's not too much cologne, it's not enough deodorant. It's one or the other. Boys do not smell good. That is my lesson. Do not smell a boy's jacket.
Who are you going to believe, audience member? A woman or a Bob Saget TV show? That's your
Boys don't smell
choice.
good. But they find us. Emily wants to wear it because she's never wore a boy's jacket before. She's
But
worn
she's worn boys' underwear.
worn boys underwear, which I thought was really cute and funny and weird. Um, and she's digging around in the pockets, and she finds the sonnet that he was supposed to read in her dad's class, which is about a man who loves his best friend, but he's not sure that she likes him back or something. Anyway, it's essentially describing Sarah
Along with boobs. He likes
uh,
her boobs, her
along with
porcelain
boobs.
white boobs.
Along with
So
boobs.
Saget's upstairs talking to Jerry Adler. Emily comes through and they're like, hey, I recognize that jacket. Matt's like, hey, I recognize that jacket. It's Jared's. Why do you have it? And Emily's
Yeah.
like, well, he gave it to Sarah today because he's going to fuck her. And they're like, excuse me? And she's like,
Because
well,
because he likes her milky white breasts or something.
yes. So she goes upstairs. Saget's really upset. Do we just basically cut to the next day
I
in
think so.
class? So
So he decides he's going to antagonize Jared by misreading parts of Romeo and Juliet, much to Josh's dismay. He does not like the bard's tale being bastardized the way it is.
well, let's not forget the way that Bob Saget, professional teacher and father, who's in charge of children, explains that the real reason Juliet's dad had a problem with Romeo is because he doesn't want some teenage boy sniffing around her panties and he's willing to fucking burn down all of Verona for it or wherever the fuck it was taking place. Jared's like, are you sure that's the right play? While Josh is just like, Mr. Tanner,
Stuart.
I am filing a complaint with the Royal Shakespeare Society. This is a bastardization of this and a very vapid storyline. This is not accurate at all. To
Yeah.
which Daddy Tanner is like, fuck you, I'm the teacher. Don't sniff around girls' panties if they're related to me. And we're supposed to get the idea, or who knows with this show. One of these episodes, and we haven't talked about Andy Kindler at all, so we're going to have to come back to
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
somehow because he gets insert shots and they're absolutely and bits and they're absolutely hilarious in this one. But we're it appears that Jared is grokking. Ooh, ugh, not that word anymore. It appears that Jared is making excuses for the Boer War. Wait, nope, that's grokking again. So it appears that Jared is understanding the threat from Danny Tanner,
It appears that way, yes.
which then makes it strange that he goes for the big plan of all the kids are going to go to the Pulp and Fiction to listen to some bitchin' new music or something.
Yeah.
Um, the plan that Olivia and Sarah have come up with is that Olivia and Josh won't show up, even though they say they will, thereby leaving Jared and Sarah on a date.
Yes. A
Okay.
bait and switch.
So basically, do we just cut home? Now, at the same time, there's the home plot, the House of Stewart plot, actually, where actually not even that. It barely. What a bad title for an episode for this
Yeah.
episode. Okay, so the barking dog has disappeared. The neighbor, played by Ron Dean of The Fugitive and other filmed in Chicago films, um, was is upset at them. He assumes they've stolen the dog because the gate's
Because
open,
they've left a ton of angry messages on his answering machine or voicemail,
threatening bro messages from Bob Saget.
which Emily overhears and is concerned that her dad and her grandfather are going to put the dog to sleep,
Yes,
i.e., kill it.
yes, which never appears not to be part of their, like, they don't seem concerned that their actions might result in that. So we basically just get back to Jared and what's her face getting home. He talks about how nice it is to hang out with her. She leans in for a kiss. He gets weirded out and runs away. She feels bad about herself. Does she tell Grandpa about it?
Yes, she walks by Grandpa and he's like, "What's wrong? Boy troubles?" And is this before or after Matt talks to Grandpa about how this guy's bad news and he goes through girls like crazy and he
So
doesn't want his daughter to get hurt.
that must have been well, because Kindler's the one who says he goes through the girl
Oh, right.
notes in the garbage to separate the recycling. Not sure I believe that after the second episode. So, yeah, but it's established Jared has all these hearts he's broken that Sarah, Josh, and Olivia do not know about,
Right. Which is
which
weird.
is a little weird, or as we say less euphemistically, bad writing,
Mm,
possibly bad show production, bad show, bad work. Okay, so yes, but we've established that Matt thinks Jared's a heartbreaker. We actually don't get a bunch about him being an ex-con, even though Josh brings it up in one of the episodes. Oh, he brings it
yeah.
up in this one with the lights. He's used to red and blue.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird thing they're holding on to at this point because Jared is being presented as a like car mechanic type kid, whereas he got introed as like a troubled prep.
Yeah.
Um,
And literally nobody else has mentioned it.
yeah, it's
Like
all gone.
that historical part of his life. But now it's just he's a bad boy, he breaks hearts, that type of thing.
Yes. So dad confronts Matt, or grandpa confronts Matt after talking to Sarah.
Hmm.
Matt is like, well, fucking good. And dad's like, do you remember when I was going to interview Virginia Gardner or something? And Matt's like, yeah, she was a slut. You said she was a slut. And Grandpa's like, aren't you glad that I didn't interfere? And he's like, yeah, I lost my virginity, but I don't want Sarah losing her virginity. And so, interesting dynamic, interesting lesson learned there. We
There are double
don't,
standards for men and women. Is that the lesson
and
you learned?
Bob Saget 30 years later is still not accepting any responsibility for his like exploitation and manipulation of this girl, this teenage girl who he shows no empathy for despite being a high school teacher, like no understanding, no self-reflection, because he's a piece of shit because it's a show about people. See how nice I'm being? I'm not being
You
so
are.
specific. I'm just saying people suck and are terrible. Okay, so we go to school, and Bob Saget's like, hey, Jared, thanks for not fucking my daughter. I know you had plans, but I'm glad you got my message yesterday and kept your filthy hands away from her. She's my princess. She'll remain pure until I say it's okay,
Yeah.
because this is what we encourage in this country.
And Jared's like, what are you talking about?
And he's like, wait, Sarah likes me? Hang on. So Jared bolts.
Sarah wanted me to kiss her? No wonder she's mad at me.
Now, the Sarah leaning in to kiss him scene is like a sexual, it's like a training video example of somebody leaning in for a kiss.
Yeah.
Like it had her eyes were closed, like it was like the fucking weird, like the thing in, have you ever seen Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore?
No.
But you've seen Harlem Nights. Okay. Are you familiar? Wait, have you ever seen a Martin Scorsese movie?
Yeah, I saw the one he did, the adaptation of that children's book that I love so much.
Hugo.
Hugo. Yeah, I've
That's
seen
the
that
only
one.
one.
I'm sure I've seen others.
Okay. Anyway, for every other listener who likes deep cuts to the film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, there's a description of a kiss that is from The Postman Rings Twice, which is almost as far as Sarah goes, but she doesn't go that far. So Jared could not have missed what was going on. The
I've
lean,
s- I've seen Last Temptation of Christ, King of Comedy, which I hated, Age of Innocence.
which you loved.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I do like DDL. I don't like Winona Ryder very much. Uh,
I mean, because she's bad,
because
Emily.
she's bad. I haven't seen Quiz Show,
He
but I
didn't
should.
direct quiz show, but you should.
Oh, it's just on this Google list.
Okay.
Anyway, so I've seen
Uh,
three, four.
okay, cool. Right on. So Jared tries to talk to Emily. Sarah. He already tried to talk to Sarah, but she blew him off because she's mad about the kiss and he's acting like nothing's wrong. He was like putting his arm around her. It's all very weird.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to establish he did not understand Danny Tanner's threats whatsoever. He just thought that Danny Tanner's a terrible teacher because he's Bob Saget.
Now keep in mind also that we've established that he's a little bit of a thicko. Remember, he had that conversation with Sarah before, like, you need to be clear, you need to be direct.
Yes, in
So,
continuity, he's a bit of a thicko, though all boys are a bit of a thicko, Emily, and it's the woman's responsibility to really mother her romantic partner to ensure his success and
I'll have to get
accomplishments
some tips
over
from
her.
your wife on how she does it for you, because I'm not very good at that.
Also, we need to pause if I need to help her unload the groceries. Okay, so the dog subplot has been going on. Emily took the dog because she didn't want her dad to kill the dog. She's been hiding it from him. The dog will
Yeah.
get returned at the very end, but basically, there's a very cute dog in
Oh,
most of the
very
episode.
cute.
It's never barking on screen, so it's not believable. It's the barking dog. There's a whole bit with Bob Saget and the dad bickering. I think it's during the I don't want Sarah to get laid conversation. Um, and the dog is like stealing Bob Saget's breakfast.
That was cute.
Sadly, it does not shit on his plate and they don't make him eat it. But,
There's
just
a cute
desserts are
scene
not just.
after the kid leaves, after Sarah tries to kiss him. They've discovered the dog,
Yes.
and the dog like licks her on the face. It's so cute. Oh my god, I love that dog. Sorry.
So, um, we cut to Pulp and Fiction where Sarah's working. Some child who appears to be her coworker does not help her answer the phone. It only stands out because it's like a 10-year-old black kid. Um, and then on the phone is Moesha doing her cameo from all of the CW shows where she wants delivery to her limo.
Right.
And it is awkward. And
Goes nowhere.
I mean, yes, it's just because it was the CW's bit for
Yeah.
crossovers.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, no. Jared comes in, begs to talk to her. They sit down and talk. He explains that he would love to kiss her, but he can't because he just wants to fuck around with all these dumb high school girls. And she's like, "That's bullshit. I've never seen you with a girl." And then three girls walk by and say, "Careful, he gave me crabs." And
They don't
Sarah's
say
like,
that.
"Wow." And Jared's like, "See, I want to marry you someday after I've sown my wild oats."
And
And
then he
Sarah
kisses
goes,
her. And
and
then
then
he
he
kisses
kisses
her.
her.
It's very
And
sweet.
Sarah goes, "I have value as a human being now. A boy wants to marry me someday," which she will say out loud in this show for tween and teenage girls.
She says that last part for sure.
So, well, no, because this show doesn't think she would have value even as, like, she might think she'll have the value. The show is not sure she'll have the value. Okay. Then we get, does Saget learn any lessons here? Not really, because I think the dog shit interrupts Sarah mooning on about how Jared wants to marry her someday.
Yeah.
And so basically, the neighbor's back over. He apologizes because the latch was broken, so it wasn't them. Dog barks, goes back to Guy, and he's like, "I always knew," or before that, he's like, "Maybe you aren't a bunch of weirdos." And then he's like, "Nah, you're a bunch of fucking dog napping psychopaths." And all I wanted was Emily to go, "I only took him because my dad was going to fucking kill him." And for
Yeah.
Ron D to just like, because Ron Dean's like a stout gentleman, just to
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know, drop to one knee and just punch them both in the nutsack.
Yep.
Jerry Adler included, because he was not going to stop Bob Saget from sending that dog to animal control.
No.
So ends the episode. Now begins. Okay, so Emily liked the episode. I had very few, other than the socialization of young women, problems with the episode. I thought that the dog subplot is delightful.
I love the dog. We missed the Kindler.
Kindler had some,
Kindler's had some jokes about knowing a guy who knows a guy who whacks dogs,
and
which
then
is problematic, but the way he says it is fucking
it's
hilarious.
funny. He
His
got a,
delivery is so
did he get a
good.
classroom scene too?
I don't remember because doesn't he have a classroom scene in this one? Yeah, the test. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually open on the test, I believe.
Yeah.
It was very confusing because I think last episode Sarah was studying for a test or something like, or what's the cold open to?
Sarah's studying for a test and the meter guy comes to read the meter.
Oh, yes. Jesus Christ, Emily. So I'm sorry. When you were a 15-year-old girl, were you just fucking desperate for any 24-year-old man in existence? Because
We
this,
were talking, my husband and I were talking last night about the movie The Young Guns
yes.
and how I, even as like a child, a literal child, I was not a teenager. I was very excited about that movie because very handsome young men were in that movie.
Okay, but wait. Let's forget about the handsome young man. Were you interested in?
Yes.
Hold on. There's too many handsome men. Let's get
There are
down.
so many handsome men.
Uh, yeah, but were you interested in, I mean, I guess not Terry O'Quinn. He was still a little old, but like, what if Casey Samowski wasn't cute in any context? Like, the guy who comes to fix the meter is like a fucking extra in the Clerks pilot TV show. He's any fucking like he's an older brother character from Freaks and Geeks who
Yeah.
doesn't get it. He's like friends with the older brothers of a character who
Yeah.
maybe gets a line about fucking a teenage girl, but otherwise has no name. He's
Yeah.
nothing. And she's just like, oh my God, look at his fucking ass. And Bob Saget or whoever comes down there with him is like, why are you looking over there? What the hell is going on? And it's
Yeah.
like so weird. And then we cut to Kindler's classroom where Jared hasn't studied for the test. Josh is in there. I think Olivia's there, but doesn't get a line yet.
And Sarah is, oh, Kindler has some great, like, I don't have to tell you that, or I don't have to tell you that this test is important, but I'm going to anyway, because it's in my nature. And then goes on to tell them that if they fail this test, then they have to take the class over again instead of graduating to trigonometry.
And then the actor sitting next to Sarah starts trying to cheat off her and threatening her. And I'm unfamiliar with this person who I believe you said you have all of her um, Blu-rays.
No, just undercover brother.
She's a TV personality?
She's a singer,
Okay.
but also
With
she
that voice? I'm sorry. Wait, was that out loud? Um,
and also an actress.
sure. If you want to use that word for what she does, I won't stop you. However, in a show that has had some really bad acting,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to know we can go so much further down. Just like, man, that Jared guy, why didn't he get an Emmy? Like, holy shit, Willa Ford's bad. She bullies what's her face about the test. Sarah doesn't let her cheat. She threatens her after class. All of the friends are freaking out because
Yeah.
she's such a badass. We will then, so we'll get Sarah freaking out, but then we're going to cut to setting up our B and C plots, which revolve around the ye old poker game at the Stewart house, where Kindler, Liz, Grandpa, Saget, and
The dentist.
Dentist, played by Jonathan Katz, I believe, or no? Is
No,
that Stoller?
it's Stoller. It's Fred Stoller.
Fred Stoller. Are all good buddies who play poker.
That we've never seen before. The writers group has gone away.
The
And now
writer
we've got this poker club. Yeah.
Poker Club, where Kindler's wife at home now has a name, Lola. She's never had a name before, I don't
It's
believe.
not even clear that because of the nature of this show and the kind of the fuck upness of the narrative, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe they killed his wife off and this was a girlfriend. The way he was talking about her,
I
I
thought it
was
was
like,
going to
this
be a
was a
lizard.
new character.
Yes, I thought it was going to be like the punchline was it was a lizard and he was going to have a fucking lizard on his shoulder. No, it turns out Kindler's fucking badass wife, who just likes to make him weak with love making, once dated Bob Saget in college.
Yeah.
And Saget didn't call her back. And so Kindler's going to be just bereft at this, and Sarah will, or no, Liz, assistant principal, will tell Saget to lie to make Kindler feel better.
Yeah.
The
Chandler doesn't drop it. He is upset, like my wife wasn't good enough for you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
This could lead to some good comedy if the wife came in. The wife doesn't.
No.
But Kindler will have 3 big scenes about this, if not more. It's the most he's had to do in an episode, actually. So we also forgot to talk about the other guest star of the episode, one little Romeo, or I'm sorry, Lil Romeo, whomst I looked up last time and thought was just some young man named Romeo Miller. I did not realize he was a tween rapper who has
Yeah,
a whole bad boy persona. And he is Liz's nephew who is hanging out with Emily.
Emily. Yeah,
Their whole entire subplot will be him giving Grandpa shit. It being written for Grandpa to get upset about it, Jerry Adler not really leaning into it, so it's like not a lot of energy. But it's like no. Grandpa'd be racist, a little racist about it, wouldn't he? Jerry Adler's like, I'm not doing it, you guys. And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on, Jerry Adler.
He does give the kid shit back in that the kid is trying to be slick. He's trying to fool grandpa, like
But it's not
whatever. But
weaponized.
no,
Yeah.
it's not weaponized, but grandpa like is too quick.
But
He's
also, yeah, Jerry, and I mean, so like it works out okay, but another weird thing about it is all Emily has to do this episode is walk this kid around, the guest star around.
yeah,
It's fucking weird.
yeah,
Like, I mean, she's gracious enough doing it, but it's also like really shitty.
yeah,
Because what they're doing this episode is desperately trying to appeal to more viewers. Um, other different demographic.
yeah.
I don't know who the Willa Ford demographic is.
I
Oh,
don't either.
okay. So I was gonna just start fucking shitting on a bunch of famous female actors who people like and I think are terrible, and I just decided not to do the bit, Emily. But
Good,
like, okay. So
good.
um,
Growth. It's called growth.
I just don't
Good.
want to take us on a 15-minute tangent. And there's no like good punchline. Because we live in hell. So the what happens then? So there's more bullying shit, more threatening shit. Do
Yeah,
we
I'll
get
meet you
this
outside
shoving
shoving.
match?
Yeah, there's like
We
a
get
bit of a
it.
shoving match
Oh, it's time! It's time! Kat Dennings, Willa Ford get into a shoving match
in the hallway
during
at
in the
school.
hallway in the year 2002 in this very patriotic show that had Kat Dennings wearing a fucking Air Force shirt at some point, um, the entire class is watching. The whole hallway stops to watch this shoving match. And Hoopst should come out to witness it and squeal with excitement, forgetting that apparently Bob Saget thinks he's too good for his wife. Andy Kindler squeals. Andy Kindler, teacher, who last episode we established read girls' notes,
Yep.
teenage girls' notes, and he said it was for the recycling, squeals girl fights. And I just felt some little part of me inside that I didn't realize was still alive. I just felt it fucking die a little.
Aw.
So thank you, Emily. Thank you very much for killing another leaf on my dwindling tree of hope
Oh,
or
I'm sorry.
something positive. I don't know what. But yes, it does not, we do not pause on that, actually, thank Christ. Instead, Bob Saget comes, breaks up the fight. Um, he's going to have a scene later with Emily, mad at her about not telling him.
Sarah.
Sarah, um, he had to call Willa Ford's dad and talk tattle on her because he's a teacher. No discussion of he's not, he should not be involved in this situation. Instead, he is the responding teacher.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know if we've missed it chronologically, but he will ask Liz to expel Willa Ford. Um,
Which happens, I think,
at the very end.
at
She
the
does get
very end.
expelled. Yes. So it's not great.
No.
The characterization of Willa Ford is quite bad.
No, it is a sitcom like I immediately thought of that episode of Freaks and Geeks where
Mm,
they kind of do a deep dive into Busy Phillips' character, and you
yeah,
realize that she comes from an abusive household, and that's why she's angry and she acts out like that. And of course, like they do the thing in this episode where, she just talks about, oh, you're just so pretty and your pretty hair and your pretty clothes and da 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 da. So you get the sense that she's just jealous, which is like the most surface level sort of baseline characteristic of any bully. But how in Freaks and Geeks they really leaned into like developing the character, and in a 25-minute television show you just can't do that. I mean, you could, I guess you could.
you could also imply something. They also did this thing where Jared left school in his pilot episode or second episode or whatever, and then he came back. So they did find time for it with that. That's not
Yeah,
what
but any character development hasn't really stuck because
true.
Bob Saget keeps getting upset that his daughter is attracted to this kid. And yeah.
And in this episode, Jared will imply he's going to physically intercede with Willa Ford,
Yeah.
but does not, and at some point identifies Sarah as his girlfriend,
Yeah.
um, which just makes Willa Ford more angry.
Yeah.
Sarah hears the girlfriend bit and is very excited. It goes unresolved because we are going to have another physical altercation between the two of them where Sarah gets punched out. Her friends are looking over her. Not Evan, of course, because he's gone. But Josh has like rejoinders throughout the show. And Willa Ford's expelled. She's in trouble. Somebody came and got her, and she's off to the principal's office to be expelled. We do not meet the official principal. We only ever, there's actually no discussion of the principal as a person. They clearly were like, let's get John Stamos. And John Stamos said,
Well, we
no.
remember the first two episodes, we heard his voice over the
Okay.
loudspeaker,
That's
and it was
right. That
Jonathan
was
Katz.
Jonathan Katz.
Yeah.
Then we get the resolution on the Kindler subplot, which is he's back over for poker night.
So what we didn't explain though is that when Bob Saget turns, lies to him and says, actually, I was wrong. I I did try to call her back, but she didn't want to go out with me. So then after that, like the whole second half of the episode, Kindler is lording it over him, like, oh, my wife is too good for you. And, I'm clearly the better man. And just like really, really, one, kind of stirring shit up between the two of them, two, getting other coworkers involved, which is harassment. I mean, this is not like appropriate for the workplace. Um, but yes, there's another poker night, and Kindler is continuing to give him shit. And he's like, we're going to settle this. We're going to play a game, one more game. And if I win, or if you win, you can have all of the money on that I have, which is $43, like whatever. If I win, you have to stop going on like this. Like, this is insufferable. You have to stop. And they're just going to play high card, right? So Grandpa shuffles and deals, and Kindler gets the King of Hearts, which he reads as I'm the King of Hearts. It's also a very high card. And Bob Saget gets the Ace of Spades. Now, what wasn't clear to me, because Grandpa had been doing card tricks
Yes,
with the
the
little
implicate.
kid
Yes.
the whole time, is did Grandpa, stack the deck and
Was
let
it
Bob Saget
always?
win?
Yes. Was it always an unfair? Was it always a like
Yeah.
scheme? So Kindler's off, and he's like, "Well, I better get going because I gotta get home to who likes me more than somebody else in this fucking room." And
Yeah.
then he leaves.
Yeah.
Um, at some point in the episode, we also get Liz telling Saget that he's like the sexiest teacher in the building or something. And it's just like,
Again,
she's like, I
no,
just want to climb that white mountain. And you're just like, no, thank
but
you.
then it is Bob Saget's like, you're just lying to me, right? And she's like, yeah. Which begs the
So,
question, who is the sexiest teacher at that school?
well,
I don't
since
know.
the shop guy quit, who knows? Okay, so, and I don't even remember what the final punchline is.
I don't either.
Doesn't matter.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. All
Two
right.
more,
Two
one more
more.
episode, folks,
Oh
and
my
Emily will
gosh.
be revealing our next season. And after her shadow programming of this season, I just can't wait to see what she comes up with.
So, oh, Ian Buchanan. That's fun.
Ooh.
Um, so next week's episodes are the final episodes of Raising Dad, Daughter Knows Best, as well as Losing It. Andrew, it. Huh?
We read the synopses either on show or in the contested after show that you very clearly were recording, and
I
um,
was not
we were
recording.
totally recording it. We did not close out the show, and it's not clear that we're actually going to have like a deflowering subplot or a plot. It appears to be chaster than that, Emily.
Well, anyway, thank you all for listening. Andrew, thank you for watching this wonderful show. Thank you for recommending this wonderful show.
Mm.
And I will see you in television land.
I'll see you in television land.